Jaws that was the most terrifying thing I've ever seen. Like, man, I didn't know sharks could be that scary. I don't know if I would want to sit near a water or beach anymore. This is horrifying me now. I don't know. I'm not scared now, so I'm just hoping nothing bad happens now after watching Jaws. Nini. What was that? Nini. What was that? Yeah. Oh no. I'm going to eat you now. Wow, we're actually doing another old review for a review of an old movie. That's what I meant. Yeah, it feels like a long time have we done this. What do you mean? The last one we did was in January. Or last one, if we really count that. I don't really count that, but I digress though. Yeah, so anyways, I guess we're gonna be ready now, so should we begin? I guess so. What was that? I don't know. What is happening? Yeah! I'm the shark. I see. What do you want? Well, I've been running up the hills after like 50 years ago, after Jaws came out. I ended up eating somebody after going into the theater, and I just want to let you know that it wasn't me, by the way. It was never me. You literally just told us that you did it. No. Yes, you must be eating all that cheese from I stole earlier. You just stole cheese now? Nope, I did not. I stole nothing. You all are lying. I never said anything. But, okay then. Alright, we're going to acknowledge it. Good, so, now excuse me, I'm gonna go now. I'm gonna go watch Jaws for the millionth time. Yeah! Cheese. What the hell just happened? I don't know. Should we start with the review? Yeah, I guess so. I'm just gonna go now. Okay, alright, I'll go as well. Well, at least you're here on time. The hell does that even mean? I don't know. I just thought it would be nice. Okay, so. Yep, this is an old review of an old review of an old review of an old movie from 50 years ago, because the movie game is released in theaters, and we're just gonna put it up right here. So yeah, and honestly, yeah, that's pretty much all I can say. So, yeah, here's our review of the movie that spawned the blockbuster genre, or popularized the phrase blockbuster movies, until Netflix said fuck off and just killed Blockbuster Video. Isn't it still here in Oregon? Shut up, you're ruining the joke. Fine. There we go. Here's our review of Jaws. Wow, we're old. Yep, we are. Well, this will probably be short, but we gotta do what we gotta do. So, here's the story. So, what's the story for this movie? How do I explain this? It really starts off with, teasing the shark by eating somebody, and then afterwards they expect it, and then mostly we get the main characters, and then afterwards they just do the usual stuff, preparing for the 4th of July weekend, and they potty at the beach, and then everything goes badly for the most part, and then afterwards they realize they need to actually kill it, and they need to hire somebody for it to understand what the shark does, and then hire shark hunters, and then those three will just randomly stare at the boat for like the remaining hour of the movie just to kill the damn shark. Yep, it's one of those movies. So what are my thoughts on the story? Okay, for a film from 1975, I think the main point of the whole movie was mostly teasing the damn shark, Jaws, because you don't really see it until like, you want to see a little bit of it, but not until like near the end. You actually see it in motion, and yeah, so we're gonna need a bigger story for this one, because yeah, this one is just, I think this is like 2 hours and 4 minutes, like, by the way, and then it ain't long, but you might, like, near like the end, like they were still trying to find it, I think you might notice that it kind of drags a little bit, but that's gonna depend on their attention span. If I have like the shittiest attention span from like you can even watch like under a minute of TikTok crap on the internet, which falls there, but those might not be for you, but everyone else you can handle fine. And I said through worse, so I said through a lot worse. Avatar is a good example, but that's a different story. So yeah, overall, all I can say is for this one, all I can say is that it's mostly just me trying to understand is that the story is mostly just them teasing it and waiting for the build up in the end where it actually happens and then we actually kill it. Smile son of a bitch, boom, done. So yeah, overall, all I can say is that it's mostly not for everybody, but Terrible Falls horror movie. I don't really. Oh yeah, it's a horror movie by the way. For 1975, is it scary? I don't think so. Probably because I was watching it at home, and you all know that the whole thing. And yeah, the shark still broke. The shark still looks fake and still broken, but yeah, but we'll talk about that in the visual effects. So yeah, so overall, all I can say is that mostly it's just, I don't know, it's just mostly how the story is just, it's kind of drags on, but I think the main point was just teasing it all the way into the end, where we finally actually see it in Boston and actually then have it die. So yeah, that's pretty much when I think about the story, to be honest. Well, I don't know how I'm gonna categorize this one, but I'm gonna try. So here's the presentation / visual effects. Because this is the 70s, I think visual effects weren't even a thing yet, or just actual special effects. But yeah, now shark still looks fake. Got that joke out of the way, so yeah, anyways, yeah, if you don't know the history, I think the shark has been like having like a lot of trouble when they were doing it, so, and everybody was thinking, yeah, but it's never gonna work, so just call it, just screw it, it just ruined the whole movie right there. And that's watching The Exorcist, but that's the story. But anyways, what are my thoughts on the visual effects? And I'm gonna start with the visual effects first before I get to the presentation. Presentation, if you hear, is wait, did I say presentation? Yeah, you know what I mean. The visual effects for this is the shark is mostly obviously fake, but I think that was the main point. When you actually see it in the water, that's when you know it actually works with the shark, how horrifying it is. And everything else is mostly just you get to see it like chomping, and yeah, that's like something it would be nice, but I don't know, it's just something that you wouldn't expect. So if a shark to do that, it's how it is. So yeah, and honestly, there's also the presentation with how everything is set up, with how horrifying it can be when this happens, like when so yeah, and honestly, I don't really have not much to say, because mostly just the presentation to show is mostly just show how horrifying the shark is, but you actually see people dying like, ah, we get sick, and mostly getting the shark into like, and then we get to see it eating the boat, and then we're all gonna fucking die, which, oh yeah, I think I just forgot to mention that, but we'll get to that in the character section. But anyways, yeah, afterwards it just flip, smile, you son of a bitch, and and that's how it goes. It's just see the explosion on the end, and spoiler, Jaws dies, but that's not really a shocker because I don't know. Is that really a spoiler? Because the shark dies. I don't know. Is that really a spoiler? I don't know. We're just gonna leave it like that. So, but we got there's Jaws 2 is 3D and for Revenge. So, funny enough, in the anniversary screenings for the 15th anniversary, they're actually showing this in 3D. So, can they just re-release Jaws 3D in 3D to see if it'll still work? I don't know, I would think it would be better, but to have that movie in 3D, or just all 4 Jaws movies in the theaters. Although people are just gonna watch the first one. Although if we're gonna see the third one, they might as well just see in 3D, in 3D for the first time since its launch. But we're getting off topic. But overall, presentation is horrifying, but I think, and the shark's still fake with the visual effects, and I still think it does not work. It does work nonetheless, and that's all I can say for it. I don't know how I'm gonna do this one. Well, most of these are just short, so we're just gonna make the best of it. Good point. Here to get this, so oh boy, this one might be hard to do because I'm only gonna make this focus on the main 3 and Jaws, so we're just gonna focus on these 3 because the rest are really just there to further the plot. So yeah. So honestly, we'll start with Yeah, the guy that mostly, what was his name again? Hunter or something? Roy Martin, that's his name. Okay. You really have Wikipedia like on this other side and you don't even remember the names? What would you expect? We usually don't remember people's names. Good point. Martin is the one that does all that's just like a cheap and is mostly just there to expect all this happening. We got the shot with him with the reaction shot that's like popular nowadays. So yeah, anyways, I'm really at it. He's there mostly just to lead all of this, trying to with the boat and then trying to get all of this with some other people, and he's the one that kills Jaws because he's actually not the only one alive in this. Yes, spoilers by the way. And then we get to the marine biologist, which is yeah, I think it's Robert or something. I think that's the actor's name. Who cares? We'll just go with that. Yeah, and honestly, he's mostly a marine biologist, knowing about all these, like, I'm only here, you gotta do all of this, I'm just here to work and all this, and yeah, and everything else is just, yeah, all of this, like that, so, and mostly, he's just there to show all this, and funny, he was the one inside the vent, and you see and then afterwards you see the cage. He actually did escape, but for some reason, people assumed that when we see this, people would assume, like, oh, is he dead or something? It's like, we never saw him get eaten, so maybe. But after like Jaws dies, we actually see him come back, and he's just like, "Hey, I'm still alive." Well, the third one didn't. The one that runs the boat. So, yeah, I think his name was, I don't know, the man-eater or something. I think it's Richard, by the way. I think that was the marine biologist's name. We are really unprofessional with doing this. What do you expect from when we're named ourselves the worst critic ever? We are living up to the name. Better than the critical thinker and others? We won't talk about other people. So, okay, so for that guy, he's like the only one that dies with the original 3, so I think he gets eaten when he was like, the Joss was chopping it, he was actually getting eaten, like, I'm gonna eat it, and he's eating my legs, and we actually see it happen for a PG movie. We'll explain that later. So, yeah, he actually does eat, so, and yeah, it's honestly, yeah, I don't know. So, honestly, that's what it is, so we just gotta leave it as it is. So, yeah, honestly, I don't know what to say, so, we can just call it a day. And then everyone else is just mostly, you want to talk about them? Yeah, I will. So, for these guys, I'm right here is, you fall. Just trying to stand up. Nah, fair enough. So, honestly, the rest, like, the mayor and mostly the parents of Martin and everyone else are just there for the plot. The mayor is just the mayor, you just stick his like, this only happened once, we're gonna do it again. And then afterwards, it just happens again. It's like, fine, do it, and I still don't believe you. And then over time, it's like, alright, fine, I'll do it. You deal with it. Yeah, so, and then afterwards, the parents are just there because then the mom is just there. I mean, the wife is there because of how it is. And then afterwards, the child are just decent actors, I guess. But I think one of them dies from the Great White Shark, or is it from someone else? I think it's from someone else's wife. A hot family that happened. It wasn't theirs because they would have noticed it by now. That was the oh my god, with that expression, with that reaction shot, which I'm pretty sure would have done some of these in film. You've done some of these in film school, but I like us. So overall, they're there just for the plot, and mostly what do we think about the characters? They're mostly. The main 3 is not mainly the main focus, but Jaws is Jaws, his shark's face, fake, and that's all you needed. There's really no thoughts about giving our thoughts to Jaws. He's scary, but in the 70s, but nowadays he's fake. It just looks fake. I don't know. So yeah, honestly, I don't know what to say, so, I don't know. I don't know, it's just, I don't know, I really got nothing else to say, so. Yeah, overall, I'll just say that the characters are nice. They're fine, but you're gonna sit through the main 3. If you like any of them, then you will enjoy these characters. If not, then you're gonna be suffering for, like, almost the entire second half of the movie. Yeah, the pretty much the second half of the movie is just them trying to find it, so yeah. Be prepared for that, so. Overall, they're just fine, I guess. You know, for a film that kind of spawned the blockbuster and mostly it became an iconic horror movie today, I think we need to answer the most important question. Overall, does Jaws still hold up 50 years later? Honestly, yes, but that's gonna depend on how you view it. Like, if you're scared of sharks, then probably you're gonna be scared to death for watching this, unless you saw The Meg or Sharknado out of all fucking movies. Yeah, don't even bother with that one, Sharknado, if you're scared of sharks, because actually watch it, because it's not even that scary, it's just more funny, to be honest. But in this, or The Meg, but I never saw The Meg, so yeah, and honestly, this one is just, this Jaws is good, but does it still hold up? I guess, but that's gonna depend on how you view it, or how people will see it in 2025, especially when it's released in theaters. So, because I mean, the story here is just, it's mostly made to tease the shark until we see the end, and we get to see the build up. And the visual effects, yeah, it looks cheap and fake, but it is what it is. With presentation is nice otherwise when they die. So, and the characters, if you're gonna sit through those, if you don't like any of those three, then you're not gonna sit through it. But if you do, then you're pretty much gonna smile, say smile son of a bitch, and just boom, celebrate it. And that's how it is. So what are our recommendations? Because this movie is released in theaters, if you love the movie Jaws, then just watch it in theaters again. I mean, it is on streaming right now. You can probably just watch it there, like on Netflix or Peacock, which is what I did though. And then you could just watch it there and just don't bother with it. So yeah, and then honestly, I really got nothing else to say. Yeah, I mean, you got something. Honestly, Jaws kind of still holds up, and I enjoyed it. So yeah, if you like shark movies, then this is for you. But watch the OG one that started all. We're interested in movie history, then watch this. But that's gonna depend if you're gonna sat through like 2 hours of this. So that's gonna depend if you like it or not. So for my rating for this is probably gonna be a 7 out of 10. But that's gonna depend on how people will view it and if it still holds up or not. So you can take that with a grain of salt from us critics, but it is what it is. So it is what it is. Now it's time to go back. Yeah, I'm getting bored, so I'll just go. Bored? Well, I mean, your videos are redone are pretty boring, but this is why people don't like us nowadays. Wow, I'm just... I feel like doing a real review on these reviews all the time always gives me, like, non-relaxation. I can see that, but I don't know. This is just, I don't know. This is something that we always gotta do for us critics. Yeah, I think we need a vacation for this. I guess, but there's really not that many movies coming out in September. Well, I mean, there's the realistic Toy Story. Well, yeah, but are we really gonna do that? Pretty sure we will, because we're gonna run this history again. I mean, we did it with this one, with starting the blockbuster thing, and now with Toy Story, just CG altogether. So, yeah, so where should we vacation to? I don't know. Hey guys, I'm back, and I just wanted to let you know, I know what vacation we should go to. We're not vacationing at the beach from the movie. No, it's not that. We're not doing Myrtle Beach. We're doing my mouth. Why? Well, obviously, because this is what we came for, and people start hunting me down because of it, so I just want you to hide down there, so the cops won't find me that I just ate somebody like 50 years ago when someone came out of the movie. So it was you really did a minute. No, I didn't, so, and because of that, I'm gonna eat you guys, but first I'm gonna eat this camera. Don't you dare. Well, too bad. My camera, yeah. No.